Welcome back to my workshop. Now today, very simple project. About 1,000,000 years ago when I did my kitchen, I made some bases like this for things to sit on the side because we've got wooden worktops. Now the reason for this is for tea and coffee, they just basically sit in these, but underneath you've got some felt pads and it stops the top getting scratched. Now the problem is we had coffee, sugar, tea. Nice round containers. We broke one. So we've gone out and bought some new ones, which are like this. This is not round. So it doesn't fit. So what I'm going to do is make a new one of these. Should be a fairly simple process, which I'll probably overcomplicate. I have a suitable piece of wood which come from a shelf out of an IKEA sideboard, so I should be using that. So first thing to do is cut this down to the same size as the original one, and I'll use the table saw. Okay, so there's my base cut. It's the same size as the original. I now know how big my pots are. I think what I'll do is I'll overcomplicate this by seeing if I can remember how to use the CNC machine to cut 3 slots for these to go in. I think I'll probably do it slightly different. I'll do it slightly deeper than I did previously. So before it's probably about 5mm deep. I should probably do it about 10mm deep so these locate nicely. So let's get over to the CNC machine and see if I can remember how to use it. So I've set the CNC machine to do its thing. I hope you can hear me. I've got it so it does it in 3 passes, a couple of millimeters per pass. I'll leave that to do its thing and I'll go and have a cup of tea. So that's still doing its thing. Just thought I'd mention, you don't need a CNC machine to do a simple project like this. It's just that I made one, so I'm going to use it. Now previously, when I did this one, I used a small router. Now this is a small router. This is actually a Bosch one. This was about 90 quid. Not everyone's got one of those. But probably about 6 months ago or so, I picked up one of these from Aldi's, which was, I think it was 25 quid. Now this and this are very similar. So this was perfectly good enough to do this job. Okay, so keep an eye out. You might see one of these. You don't need a CNC machine. You can use other tools, either a small router or even a big router. But yeah, they're available. Right, let's let that carry on. The CNC machine is finally finished. It took 2 hours. I'm sure it would have been quicker to do it by hand, but I probably wouldn't have got it as neat. Right, one thing, this, try it in the hole, it doesn't fit. What the hell? Now the reason for that is when I designed the cutouts, I set the tool in to cut inside the line instead of outside the line. I've got a 3mm bit here, so that means it's 3mm either side, too small. So I've just got to readjust that and then quickly cut round to make it a little bit bigger, and then that'll all be done. Right, I'm very upset. I've marked it up. Right, after spending hours and hours on the CNC machine, I've got this far. The problem is I started to engrave it and I've had a disaster. I've got the words in the wrong place and it's destroyed the whole lot. So what I'm going to have to do is do the whole lot again. I'm going to cut out a new piece of wood on the table saw, engrave the words first, then I'm going to cut out the whole of it using a router instead of the CNC machine. And now I can see if it is quicker. Right, let me get on with that. Right, so now I've done that by hand. This is where I should have been 2 hours ago. Now I want to round off the corners here. So what I should do is just draw around the corners and then stick it on my sander to get a nice round corner. All right, let me get on with that. Right, so that's the corners rounded off. They're all round. Now what I want to do is put a little bit of a chamfer on the edge. So I'm going to use my router again with a round over bit in the end and literally just run around it. So first of all, clamp it to the bench. So that's it, it's finally finished, finally, after the CNC machine did its thing. So I wanted to make a new one of these, and what I've made is this. Doo-doo. So it was a relatively simple project. It's just basically a piece of wood with 3 grooves in it to take our tea, coffee and sugar. This time it's engraved. I've given it a coat of Danish oil. It needs another coat, but I'm going to be doing the kitchen sides, and I'll give this another coat at the same time. On the bottom, previously I had a couple of bits of felt. This time I've got 8 little pads. These are just foam pads, which I've cut out of this using a bit of tube. So yeah, it's engraved. I should put this on the side now. Then every time we want tea and coffee, we know where to find them. Speaking of which, I think I could do that right now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.